I'm going to be doing a presentation on the Great Purge, where the story begins in like 1924 when the leader of the Bolshevik party at the time, his name is Vladimir Lenin, he died and left the USSR without any sort of leader or ruler, which was important to have for the government that they were running. So then in 1929, Joseph Stalin comes in and declares himself dictator, and he was a really strict dictator who didn't really care about human rights, and the only thing he wanted and cared about was power. He never felt like he had enough power. He was obsessed and he wanted to get as much power as he could. So he began to see just basically everyone as a threat to him in his position, especially former leaders of the Bolshevik party, because they could come in and take back power, and he thought that the best idea to maintain his power would be to just murder everyone who he saw as a threat. So this was known as the Great Purge, which lasted about 2 years from 1936 to 1938, where it's not known exactly how many people died. It's estimated to be 750,000, but that number could be doubled or tripled. It's really impossible to know exactly how many people died. But basically, Stalin and his KGB, which was this like tight security group, carried out all these murders, and they had like these labor camps called gulags, where they basically just sent millions of people to these labor camps where the conditions were so poor, everyone was starved, everyone was struggling, and most of the people there ended up dying because of how overworked, and they were basically murdered there also. So this was just a time period of fear for everyone in the USSR and basically the surrounding countries also, because he killed anyone he saw as a threat, and it was just so easy for him. And so this is like a moment in history that'll be remembered basically forever, simply because Stalin was obsessed with power for himself and was completely selfish and committed murder to almost 1 million people, maybe even more than 1 million people, simply because he was obsessed with getting as much power as he possibly could, only for himself.